Most people think you need massive servers to run AI. I'm about to prove them wrong by vibe coding a multimodal AI app that runs entirely offline, using nothing but my phone's processor. Gemma3n Nano just changed the game, and I'm about to show you how. Welcome to Made by Agents. My name is Tobias Wupperfeld. Let's get started vibe coding this project. And I recently came across the new Gemma3n model from Google, and apparently it's designed to run locally on phones. So I want to see if I can get this running in under 1 hour. And when we look at their landing page, it says it was created in close collaboration with leading mobile hardware manufacturers and so on. And the capabilities, they look quite promising. What's really interesting is the multimodal understanding. So that means you can also input images and it can read and understand the images and respond in text. A few other things. And it's open source. So you have several sources where you can download this. And here they linked to their official API docs. Yeah, and when we take a look on Hugging Face, we see they actually have 4 different versions. We're gonna use the E2B IT version for this example. So I think this stands for 2 billion parameters, and IT stands for instruct. So that means it's pre-trained to follow instructions. Yeah, apart from that, I found a plugin for Flutter. So we're gonna use Flutter as the mobile development framework. There is a plugin in existence that makes it simpler to integrate Gemma models. Yeah, it has documentation here, and it states here that it's supporting the multimodal version of Gemma and also the newest nano type here, Gemma3n Nano E2B, and there's also the link to it. So this is the model we need to use. And I would say without further ado, let's get started. And for that, I'm heading over to Cursor and I'm typing Command-Shift-P to start a new Flutter project. And I choose the application here. And then it's asking me for a folder where I want to save this and a name. So let's call this AI Gemma3n app. And this is now initializing a new Flutter project for us. And let me zoom out a little bit. I just want to get this running on Android and iOS for now. So let's delete the Linux folder, the Mac OS folder, the web folder, and also the Windows folder. We don't need this for now. On the right hand side, our chat panel, we can now select the agent mode. I'm still using Claude 4. I know there's a lot of hype around Grok 4 at the moment, but I'm not so impressed by Grok 4 at the moment. I think it's not really working well in Cursor yet. So this is why I'm still using Claude 4 at the moment. And the first thing I wanted to do is create a project requirement document with a list of tasks and a summary of what we want to build so that we can reference this later again. I just prompted
create a project requirements document in the project root. I want to build a mobile Flutter app using the Flutter Gemma plugin.
And here I'm now pasting the exact version of this plugin, because these models, they all have a cutoff training date, and usually they don't have access to the newest version, and most of the time they use older versions. I'm heading back here to the pub.dev and copy this exact version here and paste it in. So the idea is to have
the new Gemma3n AI model from Google running locally on phones. I just want to have a simple chatbot app. On first app start, the user has to download the model, and after initialization, the chat interface should be available for the user to interact with the model. I also want to have the multimodal mode so that the user can upload images as well. Yeah, that's it. And for the Flutter Gemma docs, use context 7.
So what is context 7? Context 7 is an MCP server, and I'm now telling it to use this MCP server to fetch up-to-date documentation about this package. So what Context 7 does is it fetches up-to-date documentation for almost any package. So they have a huge database. When we look at their website, over 27,000 libraries at the time of this recording, and even the smallest, tiniest packages, they have it listed, and even this Flutter Gamma package. And when we use this MCP cursor, or the AI is able to fetch the entire documentation, and which reduces a lot of hallucination. It's very easy to install. We see the installation instructions here. For example, for cursor, you can install this in one click, and this adds this config to your MCP JSON in cursor, and that's it basically. Okay, so let's hit send, and now it should create a project requirement document in our project root. It's now asking us to call the tools. So this is now calling the Context 7 MCP server. So we have to confirm this here. And here we are. Project requirements are ready. We can see here it summarized what we want to build with the dependencies, the target platforms, the requirements, chat interface, model management, and created some user stories, technical architecture development phases. So 4 phases, a few other things. And what I now want to do is create a style guide so that our app doesn't look like too bad and just has some nicer UI just right from the beginning. For that, I'm gonna use some screenshots and inspirations from dribble.com. So dribble.com has some, a lot of design inspirations. And let me just search maybe for ChatGPT, because it should have a similar interface. And let's see if I find something basic that I can use for this project. Let me see. That's looking quite good, I think. So what we can do now is just right click and save this image. And then we add this to the context and let the AI create a style guide based on this design here. So back in cursor, I drop the image here, and now I tell it,
create a style guide for this app inspired by the attached screenshots.
And here we go. So it should now extract a color palette and some UI components and the typography and so on. So the style guide is ready. We see it extracted the colors, typography, layout and spacing, a few components, the message bubbles, how they should look like, the input field, loading states, and also dark mode support, and a few other things. All right, so I think that's good enough for now. And now we can start with the actual implementation. And for that, I create a new chat window to clean up the context. And I'm gonna add these 2 markdown documents. And now I tell it to, start implementing the first phase.
Use Context 7 again for Flutter Gamma. And I actually want to use the Gemma3n E2B IT model.
Let's go. And it's creating a to-do list of subtasks. It's first of all adding the required dependencies. Then it's setting up the project structure. Then it's implementing the theme. Then creating a model manager, creating the basic chat UI, then updating the main Dart file to use the new structure, and then implementing a basic model download functionality with progress indicators. And in the meantime, I can already start launching an emulator, and I'm using the Android emulator for this. So you have to install Android Studio for these emulators. I found this much more reliable than starting it within VS Code yeah, you can also within VS Code go to run, start debugging, and then launching an iOS or Android emulator. But I found this more reliable. So let's launch this Android emulator. So our Android emulator is running. Okay, so it's now done with implementing this. Now it wants to run Flutter pub-get to download the latest packages. Let's review the code. So created app colors, created the text styles, so a folder for the theme, the dimensions, the app theme. Then this is the message model and the model status. Then the message bubble widget, the chat input field here, then custom app bar, then the chat screen, and the model download screen we have here as well, and the main Dart file. And now this is, I think, the heart of this app is the model service for actually downloading. And I think that definitely there's a mistake definitely here with the version and the download URL. We click on this, yeah, it says repository not found. We have to fix that. But okay, let it analyze here first. And it also found some issues. Okay, some unused imports. So when we check the package, I think below it linked to the official models and the download links. Here, this one, I mean, this is it. Let's maybe copy this here. It fixed these issues for now. And here in the model manager, it needs to update the download URL and also I think the version or this model name.
You have to update the download URL and model name. It's not correct. Check the official Flutter Gemma docs using context 7. And here is the correct Hugging Face ID.
Okay, this is looking better now. So let's see, when we open this link, it's asking us to download the model. Perfect, so I think that's now working. And I would say let's just try running this in our emulator and see what's the current progress. Flutter run, and it should now find our emulator. We see it also here in this status bar, and it's building the app now for us. And we get an error right away. So our Android NDK version is not up to date. So let's copy all of this and add it to the chat. And let's say fix this Android version issue. So it needs to update the build.gradle.kts file to include the newer version. All right, and then needs to clean the project and then fetch the packages again. Okay, let's stop this and let's try to run this again. So our app is now building and starting, and we open our emulator. We see the first screen here, and it's now asking us to download the model. So we can't really embed this model right away because it's over 2 gigabytes in size. So we have to download this on first app start, but after that, this entire app should work without internet connection, without data centers, because this model is running offline, yeah, locally. So let's see what happens if we click on download. I think it's simulating the download, but okay. And then we can click on start chatting and say something like hello. I think that's it. We can't send it, so that's not working yet. But okay, that was only phase 1. Image support also not there yet. I would say let's continue with the next phases. Let it implement the rest. Let's add the project requirements again and also the style guide.
Implement phase 2 for docs use context 7.
Enter. So it's working here on this model manager, and it wants to import the Flutter Gemma plugin here, which is of course necessary for this. But I think it has some problems finding the right types, and it's now creating mock data instead of implementing the actual model. So let's see, we need to fix that after it's finished. So it's now coming to an end. It also added timestamps to the message bubbles. And yeah, we have to fix the model manager. It added a chat service, updated the message model, and also the chat screen. These are not used, I think. Copy and delete message, yeah. And we also don't need this for now. The image picker is not implemented yet. Okay, that's coming in phase 3. Let's restart our app and just test the current state. Okay, here we are again. We click on start chatting. Is this working now? I don't see a difference. Aha. Okay, so when I type hello, I get back, hello, I'm Gemma, your AI assistant. How can I help you today? How are you? I can't send it. Not working yet.
Remove the mock data and use the actual model. This could be helpful. This package content could be helpful.
I'm doing now, I'm just pasting in the code of this package here, the Flutter Gemma interface, copy, and I add this to the chat, and this as well, copy and adding it to the chat, and this as well, copying, adding to the chat. Yeah, with Command L, and this Flutter Gemma package content could be helpful. And now it should have more context, and let's see if it's now able to fix the model manager. Okay, now it wants to test this app again, and still some warnings, some unused imports here, and also here this is not used. Okay, it's looking better. No issues found. Now phase 2 is completed. I would say let's just let it implement also the remaining 2 phases, and then we can test this again. So I just create a new chat and just repeat, add the documents, implement phase 3, and let's go. Okay, it's coming to an end. Now wants to fetch the packages again. Now it needs to add the permissions for camera and photo library access for iOS. That's correct. And also for Android. Okay, and now let's also let it implement the last phase, implement phase 4. So, I mean, phase 4, I think, is maybe not yet necessary for testing this. I mean, a lot of extra stuff, tests and optimizations, but let's stop it, I would say, and let's create a new chat. So it should run. I mean, it should already run. Otherwise, we need to fix that first. So, and now let it create a new clean build. So build was created and now starting up again. Okay, here we go. And let's see. We hit download. We get an error when downloading it. Error during file download 401. So let's add this to the chat. Debug and fix this download model error. Check the Flutter Gemma docs again. Use context 7. Okay, so apparently the Hugging Face model repository requires authentication. But okay, we get the info here. This is a gated model. You have been granted access to this model, maybe because I'm logged in here in Hugging Face. So they actually provide an example here. Easiest thing to do is now providing the AI with this example. But I mean, this is a joke. This example, this is just only one file, or what's going on here? Let's check also the GitHub repository and the example here. This is looking better. And how do we provide this now to the AI? You can just replace hub in GitHub with ingest. And now you see what's happening. It's opening this up now in git-ingest.com. And we see the directory structure here and also the file's content here. And this is all attached to one file. So the easiest thing is actually copying this file's content, and now we just paste this into our chat.
Here is an example implementation of the Flutter Gemma plugin. Maybe you can find a solution based on that example, yeah, on how to use it.
And now I'm just pasting this in, hit enter. So this plugin uses a download service with authentication tokens. For Hugging Face models, models are downloaded to local storage first, then accessed via set model path. It's task files, not saved handles exactly. Okay, so we need a Hugging Face token. Okay, it's basically an access token. Here, access tokens. Now I need to log in again. Okay, and now we can create a new token here. Let's call it Gemma3n app. And let's only give it read permissions and create the tokens. Here we copy it. So let's create a new file .env and let's call this hf token, paste it in here.
I added the hf token to my .env file, import this in the model manager.
Let's download the packages here again. App is starting. And okay, now we see something new here, Hugging Face authentication and ready to download. Okay, now it's downloading it. That's the progress, 2.9 gigabytes. And we don't get any errors here this time. Let's wait. Okay, we're at 98%, 99. Oh, no space left on device. Okay, I think I have to switch cameras now, get my phone and run this on my phone directly instead of the emulator. I think we hit the limit of this emulator. Okay, so I connected my phone now. In Cursor, we now run Flutter again and should start this now on my phone. And for that to work, you have to enable USB debugging on your Android phone and the developer options. Okay, here we are, and I press download now on my real phone. And yeah, let's wait again for it to download. So this took a while now, but it actually finished initializing it. And now the exciting moment is coming. I click on start chatting. Boom. Let's ask it something that only, an AI model would be able to answer. List 5 different types of mangoes. Sending is not working. When I click on plus, take photo, let's see if the camera is working. Yeah, the camera mode is working. I can take a picture. Then let's ask it, what do you see? Okay, so sending a photo works. So it took a while. We haven't implemented any kind of feedback or loading state or something like that. So since you haven't shown me an image, I can only speculate. We didn't attach the image, so the AI somehow had no access to the image. So we need to fix that. And also just typing in text should also work, but we can't send any message. Let me go back in Cursor and let's just prompt it.
I was testing the app, but a few things are not working. I can't send just text. The send button is not activated. I can add an image and then send it together with text, but the AI model is not able to read the image, or it's not passed to the model.
It seems like it found the issues and it's now going to fix it. Here in the chat input field, it applied some fixes, and also in the model manager, generate multimodal response, exactly. And in the chat service, it also made some changes. Hot restart the app. It's initialized much faster now. Click on start chatting and let's clear the conversation. Let's take a photo again of a part of the keyboard. What do you see? All right, it's looking good. I see a close-up of a MacBook keyboard resting on a wooden desk. Here are the key details. It also sees a USB cable. What types of mangoes do you know? And we got an answer. Okay, I know quite a few types of mangoes, both popular and so on. Tommy mango, Kate mango, Glen mango, and other mangoes. So that's not mock data anymore, apparently. So it's really AI that's working here. Let me try something else. Let me clean this up and let me scan a receipt. I only have this because I'm in Mexico right now. Let me take a picture of this supermarket receipt. Let's see if it's able to read this.
Extract the products from this supermarket receipt, including the prices in table format.
And we got our response back. So here's the product list from the supermarket receipt, including prices in Mexican pesos. Chang mango, what? Different types of mango. That's not correct. I didn't buy just different types of mangoes.
Back to the mango tree.
Apparently has some difficulties. Maybe it's because I asked it about mangoes before, but we cleaned up.
Analyze it again and only answer with a list of the products from this receipt.
Yeah, that's wrong. Apparently it's not that good in extracting text. Let me try something again. What is this image about? This image is a receipt from a store called C&8 Angeles. One pack for $2.99. Here's a breakdown of the receipt details. Okay, I would say that's enough for now. So the proof of concept is done. We got it running on our phone. It's a bit slow, to be honest. On my phone, let me know in the comments, what do you think about this? Is this promising? Is this something where you see the future? Let me also know your use cases. What would you use Gemma3n for? For example, building a receipt analyzer app. And yeah, that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed this content. And if you want to stay up to date, everything new in AI agent technology, then check out my weekly newsletter. Link is also in the description. It's completely free. I send out a newsletter once a week with all the updates about AI agent technology, AI investments, tools, and tricks, and so on. That's it. See you in the next one.